Alright guys, and welcome back to the King Mindset Podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about struggle. Struggle is the roadmap. Success is your destination. Now why do I say that? Well, let's talk about struggle. Struggle. What does struggle mean to you? Struggle can mean many things. Struggle can mean that you only have $20 in your bank account and you have bills to pay. Struggle can mean that you don't have a place to live. Struggle can mean that you can't get a certain product launched. Struggle can be you not being able to work or being able to create opportunities for yourself. Struggle can mean many different things. The definition of struggle is, when you're having a hard time getting something done, whether it be in life, whether it be your product, whether it be whatever you're working on, kind of struggle. And why do I say struggle is the roadmap, success is the destination? Well, because nothing comes easy. You always have to work for it. And the reason why I say nothing comes easy is because there's always a process. There's always steps. There's always planning. There's always a goal in mind. To reach that goal, you have to make sure that you do the proper steps. So how do you cope with personal struggle? Well, personal struggle is struggle that comes from within. Not because of circumstances, not because of things that are going on, but personal struggle. People deal with struggle every day. They feel they're not good enough. They've been told all their life that they can't do something. They don't have that mindset that teaches them that they can do whatever they want if they just put their mind to it. Now, there's a thing that I said that I quoted the other day. It says mindset. And mindset is the understanding that failure is not to harm you, it's to help you. So let me say that again. Mindset is the understanding that failure is to help you, not to hurt you. And what I mean by that is that when you have a strong mindset and you fail, you get up, you retest, you tweak, and then you do it again. And if you fail again, then you do it again. This is part of the struggle. This is part of the trial and error process. You have to create a product. You have to put content out there. If you don't put content out there, no one's going to know who you are, what you do, your expertise, so to say. So if you have personal struggle, if you have confidence issues, if you have self-esteem issues, if you don't think you're good enough, if you've always been put down all your life and you continue to believe that, then your mindset is not strong. And that is what I call personal struggle. Now, the struggles that I've been through a lot of struggles. I've been with people who always told me to get a real job because DJing wasn't a real job. When I tried to launch my own business, everybody's like, why are you trying to be an entrepreneur? You're just a DJ. When I went to school, when I went to college, I would DJ all night and then I'd fall asleep in class, and the teacher would be like, you're never going to do anything with your life because all you do is want to DJ and you don't take your life seriously. Through my parents telling me that I need to go to college, that I need to finish my degree, through women that I've been with, serious relationships that have told me that I need to get a real job and I need to grow up and I need to do all these things. These are the struggles that I've been through personally. So I've been beaten down by a lot of people around me telling me that I'm not good enough, that I have to do more, I have to go to school, I have to do all these things. And to me it's just funny because I've been able to survive this whole life, being an entrepreneur and putting money in my pocket and creating opportunities for myself. And that's the personal struggle I go through. The struggle that I've, always gone through is that a lot of people always thought that I was a child because I never did. I've only had one corporate job in my life and then everything else was entrepreneurial. So the corporate job that I had in my life taught me a lot because that's when I worked at Clear Channel Radio. And I did learn a lot. 9 to 5, and I also learned how they can abuse you if you're on salary. When you're working on websites, you're supposed to be working on websites all day and social media all day, but your job consists of loading gas in vans and loading remotes and putting sodas on ice and driving to different destinations to pick up prizes. When do you do your web work? So what would happen is I had to create a VPN so that I could work from home on their closed network. And because I worked at home in a closed network, I worked from 10 o'clock at night when everybody went to sleep to about 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I would have to get up at 6 in the morning to get my son ready for school and then take him to school, and then I'd head to work. So that was my whole day. So I know about personal struggle. I know about the things I had to do. I know about creating events, doing events, making these things happen, and my boss taking credit for all of it. Basically, hey, you're just a web guy. But in reality, I wasn't just a web guy because I set up the events, I staffed the events, I worked the events, I tore down the events, I made all the promotion, all the marketing tools for the events, and I sold all the digital stuff on the events. So that wasn't just me being a web guy. But I didn't get the RV, he did. But that's besides the point. These are just personal struggles that I've been through. All these things have been fails for me because when I started my own business, when I started this, when I started that, when I worked for sales advertising, when I worked for different things, there was always doubt, there was always things. There's only been a couple people that have believed in me, and that's what pulled my mindset. He used to work for an entrepreneur. He was a club owner. He had 3 clubs. And he told me, well, you're not going to make money through a paycheck. You're going to make money the way we all make money is you're going to work for it, you're going to struggle, and you're going to make it happen. And I said, okay, that's fine. That's fair enough. And I learned a lot of my stuff from him. So how did I overcome my struggle? Well, the way I overcame my struggle is so many people telling me no, there was bound somebody to tell me yes. So many people not supporting what I wanted to do, somebody telling me yes. Now, to be a master at something, you only have to do it for 5 years. I've been DJing 24 years, and between DJing, owning my own business, launching my own products, all these different things have just all been a learning curve for me. The way that I overcame it was I continued to practice, I continued to hone my skills, I continued to make these things happen. And that's the only way that you can do it is practice, fail, practice, fail, practice, fail. And you're gonna fail, you're gonna fail, you're gonna fail until you can't fail no more. And then everything's just gonna open for you. Doors after doors, all these different things are just gonna open for you. So these are just things that I enjoy about the struggle. I always talk about the process being the fun part. The struggle is the roadmap. Success is your destination. Well, once you succeed, all that hard work you put behind you is now just a notch on your belt, a couple of words on a resume. But all the hard work and all the things you learn and all the lessons that you go through, these are the things that mold you to success. So once you become successful at one thing, you don't stop there. You pick up something new and you start to struggle again. So life is about struggle. You're only successful when you make it. And I'm not saying you're gonna be successful. Once you make success at one thing, then it's time to go to another niche and challenge yourself again. I always say it's better to be out of your comfort zone than be in your comfort zone. And why do I say be out of your comfort zone and not in your comfort zone? Your comfort zone makes you comfortable. Comfortable makes you complacent. When you're complacent, you have nothing to go for. You have no goals, you have no drive. All you have is the success you've been living on. And that's the problem with a lot of people is they have success that they've had and then they stop. So what happens when you stop working? What happens when you stop grinding? Well, what happens is either this money continues to sustain itself and you maintain it, but that's still work. But if you feel like you're going to go from struggle to success and then the rest of the time is party and spending and buying big houses and Lamborghinis and all these things, you're completely wrong. Yes, you can buy nice cars. Yes, you can buy these things. But if you're not paying for them in cash, you're going to have to work to make these payments, to finance these houses, to do all these different things. And I'm just giving you the real. So basically what you have to do is once you reach your success and that success is giving you a good amount of revenue, then you have to get to another struggle and you have to start struggling again. Because if you don't struggle, then there's no more success. And if you think you're going to ride the wave on one success, then you're wrong. Because things will build and things will fall. And that's just how life is. And the only way you're going to keep your success is if you continue to build your success. So what happens when you succeed at something? You break off and then you start again. With me, it's DJing. But way before when I was DJing, I got a job with my uncle in an HVAC company. But from the time I was 5 to the time I was 21, from the time I was 14 to the time I was 21, I only made $5 an hour because I didn't earn the job. It was given to me. But while I was in that job, even though I was a punk little kid, I learned many, many lessons about work ethic. I learned many, many lessons about in-house inventory. I learned many, many lessons about creating an inventory system. I learned about going with salespeople to do bids. And we're talking, I'm 15, 16, running around in, some slacks and a polo to these meetings and watching these guys pull out blueprints and pull out part numbers and call the company. There was no internet back then. This is 1994, 95. Internet was barely taking off. So everything we did was manual. So if we did a bid and we had to do all the parts and all the inventory, then guess what? We had a big notepad, we had catalogs, and we would call people. And that was part of the struggle to learn how to bid for air conditioning company, how to bid prices, how to estimate job labor, how to estimate the workers and how many I was going to need, and the time frame, did I need a crane or not? All these different things I had to learn how to do. I'm learning this from 14 to 21. In 21, I finally said, graduated high school, I got to go to college. I got a job at the gym at the college. And that's where I started learning about personal training. That's when I started learning about nutrition and food. That's when I started learning all that. So once I learned all these things about HVAC and I felt like I was pretty successful in it, I decided to leave to pursue something different. Now, it didn't make me a failure or anything, but the only thing I was making was $5 an hour. Everybody else was making $19 to $22 an hour. And his only excuse was, you're doing the same job. You're doing installs. At 14, I was a sheet metal apprentice. At 15, I got put in the inventory cage with no inventory process. At 16, he created an inventory process. He bought a program. We filled it out. We put things in it. We labeled everything because he was getting taken. These workers were buying stuff at these places on the POs, which is the company money, and then they were using it to do side jobs. And when I saw that, I said, we have to figure out a way for everybody to sign for everything and not be buying things on your PO because you're losing a lot of money. He's like, okay. So we figured out an inventory to put this thing into play. And then he was no longer getting taken by his workers. So he stopped. We were able to stop. Then he put me to do preventative maintenance when I was in high school. So I'm 16. I have a license now. I'm only going to school half day because I'm in a program called DECA where I can go to work half day. So he gives me a truck and he gives me a cell phone. But guess what? These things are not free. So he took out all the gas and he took out all the cell phone charges through the month, every 2 weeks when I got paid. So he taught me that nothing's for free. He taught me that you're going to have to work to make these things happen. And because I'm only paying you $5 an hour, if you want more money, then you need to get a job somewhere else because you didn't earn this. But what I'm teaching you is I'm teaching you how to make your own, how to work your butt off like I did, how to create something, how to work with somebody, work for somebody, and show you that working for somebody isn't what you want to do. You want to be a business owner. You want to be on that side. So I went to go work for a gym. I went to do that. That's where I learned nutrition. That's where I learned about training people. And it was a gym at the community college where I was attending school. So I'd go to school and then I'd go to the gym. And at the gym is when I started dabbling with Photoshop for the first time. I started making flyers. I started making all these different things. Up until then, the only thing I knew how to do was draw on paper. I started making flyers for our events. The terrible just clip art things. And then later on, I started teaching myself through the grace of YouTube. Later on, down the line, I started teaching myself Photoshop. I started teaching myself about graphics. I started teaching myself about making flyers, making club flyers, looking at different templates. And I did not invest in myself at this time. So what I would do is I would download the picture and then I would find other pictures to look like that picture, and then I would chop them out and put them together. I wasn't using any PNGs. I wasn't using any filters. These things were very infant when I started doing that. As I'm working at the gym, my friend Philip, who's working at Clear Channel at the time, has a breakdown. And he's like, dude, I can't handle the stress anymore. I got my stuff's going on with my mom. I got to deal with her. I'm going to leave. You need to apply for this position. And if you apply for this position, I'll put in a good word for you. And this was my position at Clear Channel. So I said, sounds great. Let's do it. So I put in my application. So he put in a good word for me. I go to do the interview and they interview me, but there's 5 of us at the interview. Now, 2004 is when I got hired. So at 2004, I'm 24 years old. So fast forward 21, working all these things, and then working at the gym for a couple of years. And then 24 is when I applied for Clear Channel. 24 years old. Everybody else who's at the interview is well over 30, 35 with years and years of experience. All I have up to this date is Photoshop and building small websites because I learned how to use Front Page and how to make $2,000 for a website. This is all I had. So I go and I do my interview, and I beat out 5 people for the first interview, and then I had to beat out another 3 people for another interview. And after about 2 or 3 weeks of running back and forth and sending portfolios of what I had done and everything, I clicked with the manager and I was able to get my job at Clear Channel, which is now iHeartMedia. So these are all the different struggles that I've had. This struggle that I had to move to Austin, leaving my daughter behind, jumping in a car with just suitcase of clothes and 2 turntables and a mixer, and going to pursue this dream in Austin, flying back and forth every other week to go DJ in Austin, go flying every year to South by Southwest to put my stamp on it. These are all struggles, working in Vegas, flying out to Vegas, the struggle from Austin to Vegas. I got booked in Vegas. I used all the money that I had in Austin to buy my plane ticket. I got on the plane with $4 in my pocket. When I got off the plane, my boy picked me up. They took me to eat. They took me to the event. I played. They fed me at the event again. After that, they took me to the Spirit Rhino, which is a strip club. We hung out there. And then at 5 o'clock in the morning, I got back on my plane to Austin so that I could make my gig in Austin the next night. So I played Thanksgiving in Las Vegas, flew back, and then played the next night and was able to make more money. So we all struggle. These are all things that we have to do. There's a lot of things. I stayed at my friend's house in Austin for 3 weeks, saved up all my money DJing so that I could get my own apartment and move over there permanently. These are all struggles. These are all things I had to do. And let me tell you, when I left Austin, I only had about $200 in my bank account. That was like enough gas to get me over there and then to start my work week. And I left on a Wednesday so I can get there, shower, and then I DJ'd Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then that was money. And I did that for 3 weeks without spending $1. And I put all that money together so that I can get myself an apartment. So these are just some of the struggles I've been through. There's been a lot more struggles. There's been a lot more things that I've been through. But these are just a few of the struggles that I want to show you guys exactly the struggles that I've been through and the way I've overcame them. So just giving you guys a little bit about me on the struggle. And the way I say the struggle is the roadmap. Success is your destination. I've been very successful in different things, and I've always gone back to DJing because I enjoy DJing so much. There's another quote that I said, work is work and passion is never work. Because if you work for somebody or you work at something or you're creating a product that your heart's not into it, you're not going to enjoy it for long. You're going to be bothered by it. You're going to, I have to go to work. I have to go do this. I have to do that. But when it's your passion, when I wake up every morning and I say, what do I got to do today? Well, I have a million things to do today, but what is my main goal tonight? Well, tonight I got to go rock this club. Tonight I got to go play at this party. Tonight I got to go do this wedding. These things I know I love to do. These things put a lot of money in my pocket. And guess what? I'm only working 4 hours to the night. And that's it. I work from the time that I get there to the time that I leave. And the rest of the day is free. The rest of the day is for family. The rest of the day is for... Now, don't get me wrong. I have another quote that says, work today, work tomorrow, work every day. You're always working, but it depends how you work. Yes, I have to download music. Yes, I have to wait for wedding sheets so I can put all their music in order so I know what dance they're going to do. I know these things. It's the same thing with any plan you have. Doing this podcast, waking up early to make sure I get on the mic before anybody wakes up. That way I have all these things taken care of. Got to write the notes so that I make sure that I go through every topic without stumbling, without not having a topic to talk about. These are all processes. This is all struggle. This is all part of it. And where's the success? The success is when you, the listener, enjoys the podcast, shares the podcast. I get ranked at the top 100. These are the things. These are the rewards. And then guess what? There's the podcast. And then there's video. And then there's all these different things. And I started this whole journey about the King Mindset by posting my quotes on Instagram. Now I have up to 76 quotes on Instagram right now. That is 76 podcasts already planned out for the year. If I do one a week, I only need 52. So I'm already into next year, and I put out content daily. So the more quotes and the more things that I put out, the more content I can put out for you guys. So that was just a little insight about the struggle is the roadmap, success is the destination. I want to thank you guys for tuning into the podcast, the King Mindset Podcast. You guys be sure to check it out. Thank you guys for tuning in to the King Mindset Podcast. I'm Jason Ramirez, and that was Struggle is the Roadmap, Success is the Destination, episode number 2. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week.